Hello again. It's time to do another replay sort of commentary evaluation. Looking back on my gameplay of this game. So, funnily enough, I actually got demoted from not Diamond. What am I talking about? From Gold 4 to Gold 5, and I think this is the game that I get back to Gold 4. And basically, I went on a massive tilt spree because I kept getting support. Because I was trying to queue as support jungle, and I'm not a very good support, so naturally lost a fair amount of games. And so I came back to League a few days later and thought, I'm just going to play like some Quinn jungle and some Graves and some Twitch, because I've played Twitch in the past a little bit, but I haven't really had much success with him. And I know that there is some high elo players that do play him pretty religiously in jungle, so I did a bit of research, looked at the builds and such, and thought I'd give him a go. This is, I think, the 4th game on the trot I actually play Twitch. From what I remember about this game, I could have done a lot better. We do actually win, but I could have done a lot better. I do end up, I think, kind of carrying the game towards the end, but I think if I'd have played better throughout the sort of early mid game, our Misfortune actually DCs for like, I don't know, it was like 10 minutes in the middle of the game, and it really like puts the strain on. But I think we basically could have probably won with 4 men if I'd have played better. So that's what we're going to be looking at today, is trying to pick out what I could have done and what the mistakes I made, because I'm still fairly new to the playstyle of Twitch, because his early clear, until he gets the Blood Razor, I think it's still called the Blood Razor, the jungle item, the percent damage health jungle item, there you go. So MF DCs at the start a few times as well, which isn't good. Yeah, so Twitch's clear is pretty bad until you get a couple of items basically. So I'm still trying to figure out how to full on play him. It will take me quite a while, I think. So naturally just trying to clear up to level 3. Usually don't end up with very much health, so if I thought I'd go to the crab, get some health back, then go to red and see if I had enough health to gank after that. So in terms of lanes, you know, you can see who's against who up there. Gragas is doing pretty well up top, but it doesn't really get much kills. This is funny. I get the crab and I don't think Rex actually sees me at the very start, so I try and kill him. Yeah, he matches my flash, which is a shame, because that would have been really nice pick up there. I think if I'd have reacted quicker, maybe could have gotten that kill if I'd have played it a little bit better. So MF comes back into the game, very nice. If we look down at the CS here, I'm just going to change these around for a second. There we go. No, that's wrong. There we go. So Gragas is pretty much smashing GP top, as expected. Sort of GP's quite weak early, and Gragas can be quite aggressive with his stuns and damage at the start, I think. So he seems to be doing pretty well with his. He's got a dark seal, believe it or not. But yeah, he's giving GP some grief, which is nice. So at least we've got one fairly strong lane, because Spot is just in pieces at the moment, because MF's level 1 against level 3 laners, so it's obviously pretty hard for them down there. So obviously couldn't gank with the health I had after red, so I just ended up clearing the Krugs, and then just going to go straight back and buy. So yeah, I mean, from the few games I've played, pretty much best to stay nice and safe in the early with Twitch, because you're so fragile and so easily killed by the enemy jungle. This Rek'Sai could have given me a lot more trouble, I think, in the jungle. But I don't think he was that comfortable with invading, because it's, you know, it's not a super high elo, so it's not unusual to see someone not invade a Twitch jungle just because they don't think of it, I guess. So really, I had a red here. Like, I know I said about keeping safe and just farming during the early game, but I think it's important to also try and take the opportunities. I probably could have gone mid here, because Lux has been quite aggressive upon the Z, and instead of doing blue, I could have just gone straight to mid, stealthed in, slowed her, and together we you know, our kill chance on her, even with a flash from her, would probably kill her, to be honest, because I'll just load her quite a lot with the red and the W slow. So I'm just going to speed up here a bit. Gonna whiz through. This whole time, by the way, MF is complaining about having like 600 MS, so obviously everyone's tilting just slightly, because as soon as someone says that on your team, you obviously think they'll think the worst. You think that it's gonna cause the game to go the enemy's side just because of lag, which is annoying. Speed up a little bit more. So again, I think, so I had that red buff that whole time and I didn't really use it, so maybe I should have gone mid with it for sure and applied some pressure in some other lanes instead of just farming. But I think farming's okay too. You can definitely power farm with Twitch, because until you get your ult, there's definitely not a huge amount of power in his kit, to be honest, apart from the element of surprise, obviously. Still clearing. Oh, I actually die here, I think. Yeah, I get executed by the little Krog. Is it the little Krog? I always get them mixed up with the... Yeah, it's the Krog. Yeah, it's like half health, and I end up getting like knocked out by it. So that's quite funny. So at the moment, I don't know where I am with gold and stuff. So in terms of gold, you know, I'm pretty high up there. I'm nearly next to Z in gold. So that's just because of the farm, though. It shows you how good it is to just keep farming as a jungler. Somehow slowed it down too much. There we go. So I don't know what Zed's doing here. He's just fucking running circles in the jungle. They were chasing him. Oh, we actually got a flash out of somebody there, so that wasn't too bad. Yeah, bot lane's still, at this point, complaining about lag on MF, so they just keep getting harassed down. If you look at the CS, 30 to 58, so here they actually get a kill on Ezreal, though I don't know how, but then Thresh ends up flashing for the kill on MF, so that wasn't too bad. When I actually watched that happen in game, and I was like, okay, I think we might be okay now, because there didn't seem to be too much lag in that play from MF, but she does DC in a little while. Here we go for some... Let me just rewind that. Here I see Gragas walking from top, so I instantly stealth and from the jungle and try to get a little bit more damage in on the Lux. She flashed and still died, like, easily. That's the good thing about Zed, he does so much damage. You really don't have to do much in a gank apart from add a little bit more damage, and people tend to just fall over. That's what I find anyway. So, back to farming, because I'm really trying to push for that Blood Razor. Once you have these two items, you need something like 625 gold, and then you're there. So it's better to just push for that, and then start to be really aggressive from that point. That's what I find anyway. Just clearing up the red. So MF at this point, if you look, she was just standing here for like a whole 30 seconds and then disconnects. So from this point, I think she doesn't come back for a long time. Could be wrong though. So try and gank bot unsuccessfully. They obviously see that. Oh, okay, MF does come back, but they obviously see that I'm coming because Blitz goes quite aggressive, and they obviously smell a rat, for want of a better word. I say MF does come back for a little while longer. So I stay at bot side, and we managed to get clean up kill on the Thresh. Very nice. Bit more farming. So as a jungler, I do like to do that. That wasn't necessarily a counter gank, but Twitch does have a slow. So if people are chasing like your laner down the lane, you can just stealth in, throw a slow, and either try and kill them if you have, if you have the damage to, or just save your laner with that slow. Obviously, I nearly died there, which isn't good, but at least it caused take a bit of pressure off of Zed. So I'm trying to get back to mid here. Sadly, he gets rooted and does a nice little flash before he dies. Sad really, because if he'd have been alive when I was there, they probably would have both died, because they were really, really keen on diving, like trying to dive him there. If only I was a little bit quicker. But I do have my Blood Razor now, so should be able to melt people pretty easily. Just try and whiz through this farming a little bit. Here it's pretty easy with the CC from Gragas to just kill that squishy GP. He has his little heal and CC blocker, but that's not really what, you know, Twitch doesn't care if you're CC'd or not. If he can stand in range and shoot you, you're probably going to die within a few seconds. Farming, farming, farming. Twitch kind of reminds me actually of Yi. I've played a lot of Yi, and he's so similar to Yi. Like, you just let your team go in and bait them out. Basically, you bait your team, and once they've done a bit of damage to the enemy team, you pop out behind the enemy team and just melt them with the your ult and your hurricane and stuff, because you've got such good AoE damage. Especially if they're clumped up, you'll just absolutely destroy them. So in that regard, it's like full damage Yi is the same. You kind of want to wait until they've used all of their spells, then go in and kill them with the few seconds that you have without them having any CC on you. So CS at bottom lane is now 65 to 128, still 50% difference. Doesn't really even matter too much, because I think it's about the time now when MF DCs for like 10 minutes. I flashed just to try and get in faster for this play. Luckily got all 3 of them. Got 2 kills, 1 assist, so that's a pretty good little snowball play there. They got really greedy for Gragas, and I thought I'd just push in the lane here. Keeps coming off my cannon. I keep trying to fix it on myself and it keeps coming back off. So yeah, GP uses his ult, then TPs for some reason, I don't know why. He could have used one or the other, I feel. But that was fine, it was good of a little bit of pressure I put on there. So this is funny, as you stay in the lane for like 10 seconds, stealth around. Obviously the old Gragas CC really fucks him over. And Gragas for some reason uses his cask to finish him off. This Zed and Gragas, I think they were duoing. They were really toxic all game towards me. But yeah, that's cool. Whatever. Standard league game. Let me see Rek'Sai cruising around. I didn't want to fight him there because I think he would kill me because he's tanky enough at the moment to withstand my damage. MF just still having lag, I think. Just doing what she can in the lane. She gets caught there and dies. Couldn't really do much about it myself. I was going to run down there and maybe if she'd have got a bit further and dived her a little bit, I would have like tried to intercept them under the tower. That's something a really good way to get kills as a jungler actually. But she wasn't going to make it, you know, past that point, so that's why I just turned around and carried on farming. As for things that I could have done better, like this early game is actually quite clean because this is one of the games where I really tried to focus more on farming and it went much better, so I think I'm going to try and keep that as a trend going on with my Twitch games. Speed it up a little bit more. So as it stands, we're only slightly ahead in gold, sadly, even with 5 kills ahead. They get a kill on Lux at mid, very nice. I can't remember if I get a kill here, I don't think I do. So I was hoping he'd just focus the tower. But he flashes away, which is fair enough. And then the Blitz comes in. Good old Blitz, good play here. He sees an opportunity, comes up. gets the kill with the hook, but as I don't really care too much about getting kills at this point. Like, if we're getting the assist gold, that's still quite a lot, so. And it's all about the pressure you put out on the map after all, so. I think I was waiting for some gold there or something, I'm not sure. So yeah, Gragas and the dynamic duo, the old Gragas and Zed, nearly getting caught out there, but they managed to get away, luckily enough. Here's little old me whizzing around, still trying to farm up. It's all about the late game with Twitch, because you can just... People are just not good enough to focus down the Twitch most of the time, especially if you've got like a GA as well. You just become a big juicy bit of bait for the enemy team. And they end up using way too much on you most of the time, even if they do kill you. It's quite funny watching Twitch in high speed actually, because he's like a little, like scuttles around. Oh, this was funny. So they're really trying to kill me here, and I literally took my hands off my keyboard, and my little Twitch guy, like my little rap character, just was just basically just mowing people down without me doing anything. I thought I was dead, so I was like, screw it, I'll take my hands off my keyboard, basically just stop pressing buttons, and I ended up getting a triple kill, which is quite funny. But it's to be expected, really, when they're all clumped up like that, and you've got your ult up, and you're as far ahead as I am. You know, it's fair enough. It's still I'm still learning the sort of what you call it, the limits of Twitch as a whole. So I'm quite new to the jungling with him as a whole. Never stop farming. Farm, 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 farm. Okay, I think I remember this play. Me and Zed go a bit ham here. Oh no, it's not. I'm not sure. No, it's not what I'm thinking of. I'm just trying to catch somebody out here, basically. End up getting a nice free red. Oh, this is quite a good play actually, because he knows I'm there, so he runs towards me, and I'm obviously there to melt the Rek'Sai. Obviously I see Ez coming, so I switch to Ez straight away, because he's going to do a lot more damage than the Rek'Sai, so it's much better to have the Rek'Sai hitting you and be hitting the Ez and killing him faster. So because we do that, we managed to live through that and get 2 kills for ourselves. This I make GP flash, he's too scared of me. He might have been able to kill me there if he was quick enough with his barrel combo, but it's quite hard. I think that barrel combo is pretty hard to pull off consistently well. And I could have always last hit the barrel quickly. I'm pretty good at doing that against GPs. It really screws them over. So currently 7-1-6, and literally the whole game, fucking Zed, fucking Gragas just complaining constantly. MF still just randomly like standing still sometimes. I'm not quite sure what she's doing. She's caught up in CS a little bit though. So at this point I assume the lag is fine and her internet issues have disappeared magically, as they normally do after someone says they've got MS at the start of a game. A little bit of aggro happening down in the bot lane here. They get a kill, but then obviously Blitz gets cleaned up. This was a mistake from me. First mistake, or first big mistake. Let me go back on that one, because I remember why. So I was running in it, like, and they wouldn't have known, but Zed was running next to me, so obviously they reacted to Zed instead of running, so they stopped and started to run back. So I tried to go in a bit too deep and got hooked by the Thresh into the tower, and that was the end of me. So that was me not being careful enough with my squishy champ there. Rek'Sai going absolutely ham. Wow, quite a lot of damage there by Rek'Sai. Full tank with Titanic Hydra. Not too bad. With all the auto resets you get as Rek'Sai, like with your Q and the Hydra, you can actually do quite a lot of damage if you auto reset correctly. I don't really play Rek'Sai much anymore though. I used to do a lot. I think it was last season or the beginning of this one. Used to be like my favourite jungler, but I prefer like stuff that does real damage now. This crank just wrecks the old GP there. Alright, let's get back to it. So yeah, that was me learning that if there's somebody next to you when you're stealthed, as someone like Zed who's dangerous and people are going to run away from, easy pick up on Lux there in the mid lane. But you might as well not even be invisible, because they're going to react to the person that's walking along with you anyway, so you lose that element of surprise most of the time. Unless obviously they want to turn on the person that they see, but in that case they wanted to get away from Zed, and I tried to follow them, but like, you know, basically into their tower and got CC'd and died. So yeah, a lot of the improvements I need to make with Twitch really is just be more careful and be a bit more selfish. Let your team take a lot of the beating and then go in. Me and Rek'Sai meet at our crab spot again, like at the start of the game. He doesn't want to fight though. I don't blame him, to be honest. Right, so MFDCs again. I think it was for about 10 minutes. It could be less. I could be overreacting on that, but it was somewhere close to that. I was tilting so hard at this point. Well, after 2 minutes of her being gone, I was tilting really hard because I was just so annoyed that they were going to win just from a DC. This was so good. I run into the bush and turn, but oh, I was so close to killing like 3 of them there, but they were just starting to run back into the bush. If they were still going a little bit aggro on my team, if these guys hadn't have backed away so quickly, take a look at it again even. So they're running away still at this point, and I'm just like, right, because if they get rooted, okay, that's fair enough. So these guys are disengaging. If Lux wasn't running into the bush and giving everyone vision, I bet you they wouldn't have reacted quite as quick, and I probably would have got at least a couple of kills there. But I mean, I'd take them all to half health basically, which is pretty cool. I love the play where I actually go into the bush. It was risky, I mean, but I think it was definitely worth the risk. I don't think it was a bad play, but it's just because the Lux happens to run into the bush earlier than she would have done if they were still having a little scuffle with the 3 members of my team. That was probably worth the risk. And the amount of damage I done, to be fair, it allows them to try and be aggro on the team there. Obviously, they don't do that well, and they get caught and cleaned up, but it does allow them to continue to be aggressive onto the enemy team because they're so low in health. GP is just taking advantage of the fact that we've got DC, little MF down here, trying to take our inhibitor. I just end up getting the farm here, I think. Yeah, I think I was wanting to kill him, but obviously he ran away as soon as he got the inhib, knowing that I was going to be respawn. Just gonna push this wave out a little bit, give us a bit of time before those supers hit the base. Oh, I took the blue as well, okay. I'm not really looking at much of my other team on this game. I'm just really trying to focus in on what I'm doing, especially on the Twitch, just because I'm not comfortable playing him at the moment. I haven't really found my groove with him. So I've died twice quite quickly recently. Okay, so this is one play where me and let me come back a bit. So I see an opportunity because I see Ez, but then I turn the corner and see her recalling. So I engage onto her. She Zhonya's. Zed just dies and ends up doing nothing. And so I'm standing here and just trying to turret basically. I'm just hoping they'll melt before I die. Unluckily the Lux hits me with a nice fat laser and finishes me off, so I can't really melt the rest of them. But I mean, we still do pretty well out of that considering Zed died instantly and we're 4v5 at the moment. Obviously GP wasn't in the fight, but he did ult. Honestly, like, I remember the Zed going, you do know you can move as you auto-attack Twitch or something like that, like, and like he literally ulted in and died instantly and did nothing. And he was like, oh, there was 4 on me. And I was like, well, you didn't need to ult in. You ulted in once you saw 3 or 4 of them. You know, what did you expect? He just never seemed to do any damage the whole game. And funnily enough, this Gragas here does like twice the damage he does throughout the whole game. So it just proves that the Zed is just essentially, I guess he's missing all of his shurikens and double shurikens and all that sort of jazz. Like all of those low elo Zeds tend to do, or lower. Not all of them. I mean, some are good, but. I say that, I mean, I'm shit at Zed. I think I've played Zed once in my whole life, but I know where the damage comes from, and that's when, the shuriken, especially if you hit 2 of the shurikens from the Ghost and yourself, it hurts like a motherfucker. So here, I'm tilted as fuck because the MF's still, not AFK, DC'd. So I so nearly end up killing them both anyway, even after they use flash and whatnot to get away from me and Thresh hooks me. But Ezreal's ult finishes me off, sadly. But that's fine. I get flamed a little bit more for that, even though I'm still 10, 5, and 8. That's the point where I recognise I'm making silly choices now. I should have tried to get a bit further away from the Thresh and closer to the Ez before I came out, really, if I was going to pull off that play. Because then the Ez wouldn't have been able to run out of my auto attack range so easily. So my team continue to be hammed down mid, against 5 people, as you do. Pretty brave. They're chasing pretty hard, I think. Can't remember if they get an engage off here. No, they don't. So GP is just starting to scale now, so this is where I'm like, oh, okay. It's gone crit GP, and it just does a lot of fucking damage late game, so... Yep. Let's get fucked. Then... This Thresh just is landing hooks all fucking day in this game. It's really, really hard to play against the Thresh that is just hooking all the time. So I come out of my little stealth here, managed to get... I think I could have got more there if I ran... Again, I needed to run deeper into them. And risk the being closer and dying, but getting more damage off. Because I think they would have all run away from me, even if I was closer to them. But I just didn't want to die again, basically. I wanted to stay alive and keep pressure on the map. So many opportunities here. I should have probably just stealthed straight up and engaged all of them, to be honest, because I would have killed at least a couple of them, maybe even 4 of them, depending on how fast they reacted. I honestly can't remember what I do here. Ah, yeah, fuck. He does that twice to me in the game. He hits me and then knows where I am. Yeah, so he absolutely fucks me there, like, really hard. I think he knew I was there because he hits me with the Q here, and then he knows that I'm stealthing in. And then when I come out, he's not surprised, and obviously the Lux has a Zonya, so she didn't die, and he has a bit of free time to Q and auto me, and he E's, and it just melts me instantly. So I was pretty annoyed at that, because our MF is still in the base. I think it's been about 7 minutes now. Yeah, and obviously it being the last game of my best of 3 on promos, I was like proper tilted. I mean, as anyone would be, you know. But I'm trying to stay as calm as I can. I'm hoping that we can pull off some hero plays to get the 4v5, or to win the 4v5 even. This Gragas and Blitz do quite a good job of stalling this tower here. I dare say if they hadn't have done that little stall play there, that tower wouldn't have been there anymore. So pretty good from them. So here we're doing a bit of chasing on the overstay of the other team. I think we do get this Thresh. He tries to hook the dragon, which hasn't spawned yet. So we end up getting a little freebie there. Rek'Sai's just floating about. Gets caught, I think. Yeah. Try to get the slows on top of him. I get hit pretty hard by the Lux, but she doesn't have enough damage to kill me with just a root and an ult. She has to hit her, I think it's her E, her circular sort of ball thing. If she hits that as well, then I think I would have died, but she didn't. I evade that because I think I'd buy my Bloodthirster. Nope, not yet. I do get this kill on GP though. Good old Blitzcrank was there first to try and save the inhib. Losing that inhib would have been pretty annoying because it just pressures you to always go back to base and stops you from being able to be aggressive, so it kind of fucks me over because I want to go out, stealth out, and kill as many of them as I can to keep stalling the game out to hopefully bring some time to get the MF back into the game. So even on gold at the moment. Obviously 4v5 still, so I'm thinking shit, this is lost, but I'm still trying like my absolute hardest. I'm just sometimes making silly decisions and going over aggressive. So, okay, he hits me with a Q there again, in stealth, so he knows I'm there again, and it fucks me again. So, I think that's just one thing that, with Ezreals especially, or people that can sort of sense you, sort of feel you out with their abilities a little bit, you have to be really careful of that, because he hits me, knows I'm there, and I still continue to go in, so when I pop out, he's always so ready to kill me. So that's the second time that happens, and I think at this point is when I actually learn. Nice. So MF comes back now. I think that was like 9 or 10 minutes. So yeah, I was about right. Naturally though, she's pretty far behind and only has like 2.5 items. But at least she's back. So at this point, I'm like sorted. We should be able to win now. Currently 12-7-9 on the score for me. I think I could literally have avoided at least 3 of those deaths by playing, just positioning myself better. I've never been a massive ADC player anyway, so I'm not that great at positioning and stuff, but I think I'm getting better after playing things like Graves and Quinn and Twitch in the jungle. Let's speed this up a little bit. So they're going aggro, they managed to get the GP. I'm not quite sure, I think he was trying to ward, or he was seeing if we were doing Elder Drake. And Gragas with Deadman's is quite a good sort of catching device, because he's really quick, and then he can get that slow barrel on you. So I know they're here at this point. Again, he hits me with that Q again, and he actually gets away again, which it really, really triggers me. But luckily at this point, I've got my red pot and BF going, so this is where Twitch gets really silly, because you heal so much as you hit. So I still managed to basically kill 3 of them. If only I'd hit Ez one more time with something, he probably would have died. But he can always E out. That's why you need to get, I think, really close to him as Twitch to give you enough turret time to kill him. They've just been chasing Rek'Sai around our jungle, which is good. I mean, if he's out of the way, then there's nobody to contest this dragon with their smite, so I'm happy about that. We melt the Elder Drake, and then we continue on our conquest to win. At this point, obviously, I don't even need the farm, but it's always worth just pushing all the time. Just push. If you're good at pushing and killing minions, do it. It's so easy to restrict what the enemy team can do. It's literally how... That is the definition of pressure in this game. Obviously there's different types of pressure, but that's a really nice, easy form of pressure to do, is just go from lane to lane and clear the minions. As long as you're quick around the map and you can clear minions quickly, something like a Quinn can do that very easily. Here, I think I'm going to go and kill their red, but then I see the GP, so easy peasy. There's literally no way I'd have died there. It doesn't have quite enough damage to one-shot me, so... So yeah, in terms of like focus points, positioning, obviously not tilting when somebody DCs for 10 minutes halfway through a game. Nice hook, gives me the opportunity to meld, but I get hooked again. I mean, I should probably anticipate that hook more, because he's obviously really good at hooks. Like, look, he just nails the hooks all the time. So I was a bit unhappy about that, because of my aggression, I essentially dragged the game out longer. We had Elder Drake. If we'd have had a normal fight, again, another really good hook. This Thresh has done really well all game. Yeah, so that was basically that whole event, that whole chain of events was, I mean, I blame myself for that, but that blitz hook was really good. If I hadn't been hooked by the Thresh, or if I'd have juked it, because I wasn't waiting for it, maybe I should have waited for it, then juked it, then continued to shoot, I'd have been fine then, because when you're shooting as Twitch, you're getting that healing and you're doing that damage. But if you get CC'd for even just a second, it gives people that opportunity to drop your health and get you low enough to kill you. Awesome TP by fucking Gragas. I think he thought they were doing Baron, but... And another no damage ult from Zed, basically. At least Gragas gets away. So he can continue to apply pressure through clearing minion waves. So, they get the Baroon. I'm so tempted to go in here. Yeah, I do. So yeah, if you notice, I run a little bit more, because I had a few seconds left on my stealth, so I used that to run a bit deeper instead of coming out early. So that was like an improvement I made in the game, and realised the mistakes I was making in the past. That was nice though. 2 people now don't have Baron buff, and they're dead obviously. So I'm going to push this top wave out, because there's not really anyone on their team that can 1v1 me at this point. So I'm just going to essentially split push for just a second and try and get that tower. Gragas absorbing all that damage again. They're pinging to try and defend this tower, but honestly I think they're a bit too late. Oh no, okay. I stealth in because I know that they're going to be running this way. Bad idea, because this Rek'Sai is pretty tanky now. If I'd have got hooked there by that Thresh, I'd have died. But luckily I've got Blitz with me to sort of half peel. I can't remember what happened here though. Yeah, I used my Mercurial Scimitar to try and get the speed to get away, but the Rek'Sai is just too in my face. At this point, you know, the people were at mid. I think they went back to buy. So again, probably shouldn't have been so aggro there if I realised they'd have gone back. So another misjudgment. But at this point, I'm 17, 9 and 9, and probably one of the only reasons that the game has gone on this long anyway. Also, the stalling from Gragas and Blitz has really helped as well. I think these two are going for a backdoor. I can't even remember that happening. But Rek'Sai gets caught by our CC, by the Gragas, and gets killed. Okay, so they did get the inhib. So, still got a good game going on at the moment. Still pretty fair game, even though our MF is half the CS of the Ezreal because she was AFK for so long. No, sorry, not AFK. DC'd for so long. But yeah, this Zed is the kind of guy to constantly spam, oh, report MF, and, you know, he was clearly having problems with his internet because he was saying how he had MS problems and stuff like that. You know, he might have been trying to fix his internet. So, you know, don't be that guy who's always like, report the guy who DC'd, because, you know, you one day might DC, and, you know, anyone can have internet problems. So, you know, don't be a dick. So still just trying to apply pressure now. Got my red pot going still. At this point I've got like so much money. I think I've got like, yeah, I've had like almost 7k more than the next person on my team. So 6k more. So it's just like, I'm so far ahead. It's just because I've been farming really hard on the minion waves, and I've obviously got lots of kills, and I've been farming a jungle. So it's a good thing about being a jungler. Like you can be so greedy now, and if you're playing something like Twitch, if you get this far ahead, it's literally GG if you play it well enough. And it's, you know, that's the hard part for me at the moment, just because I'm not quite sure. So this is the final battle coming up. So I'm thinking, right, okay, so they get the Thresh. Obviously they're gonna not focus in too hard. I think they must know I'm going to come in on them there, because they're running back and forth, basically trying to avoid me. From what I can tell anyway. Let's watch that again. Let's slow it down. So they get the hook. So the 3 DPS on their team, they're just sort of they're playing so far back for some reason. MF ults just on the Rek'Sai and melts him. But with the Zed jumping in and distracting them, and me here as you know, a massive deterrent to doing anything apart from running away or trying to kill me, it just gives like the rest of the team, MF, Blitz and Gragas, so much time to just clear up. And obviously Zed did a little bit of damage though. He didn't actually end up killing anyone with that, which makes up again. Sorry, I've got a bit of a grudge against that Zed because he was just such a twat. But yeah, and that's pretty much GG there. It finished quite quickly because I didn't realise at this point, but it was 47 minutes into the game, and yeah, when you ace someone that far into the game, you tend to melt the rest of their base and win. So yeah, I'll leave that there. I don't know, there wasn't much constructive criticism in that. You know, I find it hard to like pick out what I'm doing wrong with Twitch apart from the positioning mistakes and stuff. But I definitely think it's better to be safer and farm rather than go for those constant aggressive plays, because, you know, Elena can very easily turn around and kill you, especially something like a level 6 Zed. You know, that happened in one of my games. I went to gank him. He did die, but I died as well because he ulted me and, you know, hit me with hit me a few times, and you know that kills you pretty quick when you're just at like level 5 Twitch. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Leave some constructive feedback in the comments if you've watched. But yeah, I pretty much do this for my own benefit, a little bit of my own. It gives me a reason to review my own replays and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, if you can take something from it, try some Twitch jungle yourself. I mean, I'm not going to say don't do it in ranked, because I do it in ranked all the time, and honestly, it works out pretty well. As long as you're slightly competent with the champion, at least you're thinking constructively and you're not just being a troll, basically. I don't see a problem with trying picks like this out in ranked. People always want to tank in the jungle. Fuck that. Play Quinn. Quinn's really good. Rengar's really good. You know, all of these damage picks are really good. Don't be afraid to pick them. They're loads more fun. You'll have a lot more fun playing the game with those. Anyway, guys, see you later. Thanks for watching.